Coming up on Look Today, well, another curveball is thrown in the sale of the county-owned Westmount Nursing Home to Centers Healthcare. I've got the details. Plus, Governor Andrew Cuomo was in Bolton Landing on Friday, and our cameras were on the scene. And it's been 80 years since Lake George hosted the Gold Cup boat race, and our cameras were on the scene to witness the event. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and here's a look at what's making news today in Saratoga, Warren, and Washington counties. Well, in our lead story, Warren County's sale of the Westmount Nursing Home has taken yet another twist. It seems like a made-for-TV movie at this point. Well, with just a few days before the state's Department of Health gets set to review the sale, Centers Healthcare has changed the owner of the nursing home. Now, it's important to note, a corporation cannot own a nursing home, so the buyer is usually an official that works for the corporation. Well, when the sale process began months ago, Warren County officials were informed that Kenny Rosenberg would be the buyer, the CEO of Centers Healthcare. However, documents filed with the State Department of Health identified David Greenberg as the buyer, a Centers Healthcare official that the board is not familiar with. Centers Healthcare has not stated why they made the change. Some county supervisors are expected to attend the Department of Health meeting in Thursday in New York City. Now, if the sale is approved at the meeting, the closing will occur later this year or early next year. Well, we'll continue to update you on this story as information becomes available. Well, now changing from news to weather. Temperatures started to cool off yesterday after a hot and humid weekend. Now, as we head into fall, it seems as though the region will see temperatures start to drop into the low 70s. Well, just how cool will it get? Let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Well, back to the news. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo addressed the Business Council of New York on Friday in Bolton Landing. Cuomo addressed the need to consolidate services during his speech, stating that consolidation is a difficult conversation that few want to have because it means elected and paid positions would be eliminated. Well, the governor said that the lack of consolidation leads to higher taxes for those residents of those communities. Well, aside from a discussion about consolidation efforts, Governor Cuomo also said the three winners of the $500 million grants will be announced in 3 weeks. And he was also encouraged by the region's effort to provide 2.7 million private sector jobs. That will be the most in the region's history. In other news, well, believe it or not, it's been 80 years since the Gold Cup races were held on Lake George. Well, this past weekend, antique race boats from all over the country converged on the lake for a weekend of activities, lectures, and in-water demonstrations. Look Today caught up with race organizer Buzz Lamb about the event.
This is the 80th anniversary of George Rice winning the Gold Cup 3 in a row. That year also, he won the Gold Cup, the President's Cup, and the National Sweepstakes with a 13-year-old boat. And George Rice lived right up the bay from the dock that we're standing on here.
Well, it was an amazing event. Now, one of the highlights, by the way, was the reproduction of the original El Lagarto. Now, that boat was also named the Leaping Lizard, catch this, because it would take to the air while racing, sometimes as far as 75 feet. Also in the news, the region will continue to save money at the gas pumps heading into the fall season. Gas prices have fallen more than $1 since this time last year. Prices are down almost a quarter since last month. In New York State, the average price for a gallon of gasoline is $2.48. Now, according to analysts, the prices should continue to fall as stations across the country are beginning to sell gas, you ready for this? Under $2 a gallon. Now, the national average has not been under the $2 mark since 2009. In sports, well, our crew had a busy weekend this past weekend. On Saturday, with our high school game of the week. The team traveled to Whitehall to see the Railroaders take on the Corinth Tomahawks. Now, if you haven't seen it, catch it tonight on Look TV. And afterwards, we headed to Saratoga for the 5th annual Blondes versus Brunettes game to benefit the Alzheimer's Association of Northeastern New York. Well, the Blondes won the flag football game 14-0. And I have a feeling that our sports director, Bob Freeman, didn't mind calling that game. Congratulations to everyone involved on breaking their fundraising goal. Now, this Friday, our team heads to Schuylerville to broadcast a game between the Schuylerville Black Horses and Hudson Falls Tigers. Well, still to come, Director of Field Service for the Twin Rivers Council Boy Scouts Association, Scott Hayden, is here to talk about scouting and their upcoming events. Plus, grant writer and workshop facilitator Lynn Gelber is here to discuss an upcoming workshop at Skidmore College that helps nonprofits with grant writing. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, or join us for an interview, give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.